What is up, YouTube? Scrammy here, coming at you with another video of the Sonim XP8. Now in our last video, we touched on video quality and what it looked like compared to the Samsung Note 10 Plus 5G. Well, today I devised a little plan here. I've got the Sonim, as you can see here. I've got my S8 Plus, and I have my Note 10 Plus, and we're gonna basically video all of them from the same distance. We got like 5 inches or so. We got the dB meter. We're gonna set the phone here, and we're gonna play them in all directions. We're gonna have it laying flat, we're gonna have it laying straight up, and we're gonna have it face down, just to give a fair comparison, because the Sonim speakers are on the top. The S8 Plus, there's a single bottom fire on the bottom, and on the Note, there's 2 speakers. So, without further ado, we're going to get into this. I'm going to set up this little experiment, and we're going to just find out how many dBs these phones are really putting out, and if the Sonim is actually louder. Alright guys, here we go. We got the dB meter. As you can see, it's picking up my voice. So I'm probably going to amp up the range of it a little bit since we're going to be playing with these phones. I got the Sonim XP8 downwind. I got the tape out so we don't have a unfair comparison to one phone or the other. So we got the dB meter sitting on the tape, the Sonim sitting right on the tape, and we're going to play a song off the audio library here and get an accurate measurement and see what dBs we get. Like I said, we're going to do it laying this way, laying straight up, and then laying on its face. And we're going to do that with the Sonim, the S8 Plus, and the Note 10 Plus. So, without further ado, I'm going to start the test. Okay, so it looked like we were averaging just a little over 90 decibels. So now we're going to try it standing up and see what we get for a score that way. Let me just reconfigure this real quick and we'll start the second part of the test. Alright guys, same distance, same test, phone standing upright, and we're going to see what kind of decibels we get this way. So looks like that was getting up to 100 dBs, maybe even a little over. I saw 102 or 103, so that's pretty loud. Now we're gonna reconfigure this again, and I'm going to do this test one more time and see what it reads when the speakers are facing down. But now I'm gonna flip the phone over, so we're gonna start this song again. Turn it over. So again, we were in the 90s, maybe pushing 100 dBs. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to the S8 Plus, and we're going to do the same tests and see what that one comes up with. We got the S8 Plus downwind here. We're going to play the exact same song at the exact same distance, and we're going to see, we should be getting upper 90s for decibels if it's going to be the same as the Sonim. This is a bottom firing speaker on this S8 Plus, so I would imagine it's going to be pretty close with the single speaker coming out the bottom, but we're about to find out, guys. All right, so we got pretty close. Seen some upper 80s, 90s, so it's pretty similar. All right, guys, the video is set. We have the S8 Plus standing up on its end, and we're going to try this test one more time here and see what volume we get. Alright guys, so we were getting in the low 90s, upper 80s that way. Alright guys, everything's going to be set. We're going to start the song, flip the phone over. Again, the speaker's on the bottom, so I would assume we're going to get pretty close to the same results, but you never know. So without further ado, let's get the song rolling. Alright, so that was solid in the upper 80s, mid 90s, so not too bad. And now we're going to switch over. I'm going to grab the 5G Note 10 Plus here, and we're going to continue the test. Here we go, we got the test set. We have the Note 10 Plus 5G up here. We're going to start and do the same test that we did with everything else and see what kind of decibels we get. Again, the Note 10 Plus here has a bottom firing speaker, and it also has a top speaker. It's actually built inside the phone and then kind of projects itself out. So it's not actually on the top of the phone, it's in the phone, and the sound is channeled out of it. So without further ado, let's give this a little test and see what kind of decibels we get with this. Again, pretty similar, into the 90s there. A little bit louder than the S8 Plus, I would say. It's closer to the sound of the Sonim. So we're going to start up this test. We're going to set it straight up and down and do the same thing and see what kind of decibels we get that way. We're going to start this test and see what kind of decibels we get. Alright, so we got mid-90s, goes down a little bit, come back up. So, not a bad test. Now we're going to do it one more time, but the phone face down and see what kind of decibels we get there. Here we go. Alright, so we got solid mid-90s again. So let's go over real quick. I'll give you my final thought and go from there, guys. So my final thoughts on the test here. The Sonim XP8 was definitely louder. The decibels across the board were a good bit higher. I kind of expected the Sonim to be a little bit louder. I mean, that's one of their things. If you know anything about decibels, as you go up in decibels, each decibel actually means more because it's getting louder and louder. It's like quadrupling every time. I'm not going to get into the science about it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so the Sonim is definitely louder here. One thing to note, though, when you turn the volume up all the way on the Sonim, the quality kind of goes down a little bit. You get a little, almost like a staticky sound. Whereas the other two, the S8 Plus and the Note 10 Plus, you can turn all the way up and their sound frequencies, everything sounds the same, just louder. I think the Note kind of loses its bass once it's cranked up all the way. You go one notch down and it's slightly less. It sounds a little bit better. But just so you know, it definitely, the Sonim is louder. But like I said, when you turn it all the way up, depending on what you're listening to, you might get a little... The sound might not be so great, I guess I would say. But it's definitely louder. I would say it goes the Sonim, the Note 10 Plus, and then the S8 Plus. Again, Sonim says they're the loudest, and, well, they certainly are. This phone is loud as hell, especially when it's actually playing a ringtone instead of just music. So, another test down. Until the next time, guys.